there. Subscribe to this channel.
What is up, guys? This is the ZeusTuber, and today I am back with another interesting Walking Dead video for you guys, having to do with Laurie Holden, who played Andrea on The Walking Dead in seasons 1 through 3. Fans of The Walking Dead comic, which many of you are who watch my videos, know that one of the biggest differences between the TV show and the comic was how the show, and in particular how Glenn Mazzara handled Andrea's character. Now, Andrea in the comics is still alive, and she actually becomes Rick's wife while he's at Alexandria, and she's becomes basically, she is the sharpshooter of the group. And since Andrea is no longer on the show, several of her characteristics have been kind of like sent out to other characters. Sasha is the first one that comes to mind because Sasha is the group's sharpshooter, and she's kind of that one of those tough like women badasses on our show. There are many. Obviously we got Carol, Michonne, Maggie, amongst others that are constantly evolving and just becoming even more badass characters. So Sasha's probably the biggest example of comic book Andrea at this point, and obviously we have Michonne and Rick in the show right now as a couple, but it is Andrea and Rick in the comics. So there's several different little things that have been changed, but Andrea dying in the season 3 finale has been one of the biggest changes we've had thus far on the show. But this past weekend at Walker Stalker Con in New Jersey, the actress who played Andrea, Laurie Holden, broke the silence and finally elaborated a little bit more on all the behind the scenes changes that went into her, killing off her character and how she feels about this. Here is what she said. "Well, I had an 8-year deal. I was supposed to be there until the end," Holden said during her panel. "I was supposed to end up with Rick. I was supposed to save Woodbury on a horse, and I was buying a house in Atlanta. I got the call at 10 o'clock the night before while I was shooting from the showrunner, who was no longer a part of The Walking Dead, saying that they couldn't write the episode and that he was killing my character. So we all got the script. Everybody on set was sobbing. I felt like I got shot. None of it was supposed to happen the way it did." So that might be even more upsetting to some of you fans out there who are huge fans of Andrea and are still pretty bitter about how they handled her on the show, that it's basically all Glenn Mazzara's fault that they killed off Andrea. And Glenn Mazzara has been the showrunner for about, basically about halfway through season 2 and into all of season 3 that he was let go, and Gimple has been the showrunner for the show since season 4. So it's we can't blame Gimple. It's Mazzara's fault that happened. As much as I love how Andrea is handled in the comic, I'm not too upset about how it happened in the show, just because we're so far past that point in the show, like where she dies, that it's like, I wouldn't really go back and change anything because I like how things have turned out. And Holden goes on to say that she holds no grudges. "I think The Walking Dead is in a really good place now," Scott Gimple Holden says. "It wasn't the ship that it is now. I'm very grateful how it was written, that I went out with grace and with a stellar cast. It wasn't the way that I wanted, but I loved the way I went out." So she's still pretty positive about the whole thing. I know many fans are still pretty bitter. I want to know your guys' thoughts on this. Comment down below and let me know. And as always, if you liked and heard what you saw here today, hit that subscribe button and have yourselves a wonderful day.
And you are it.